founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit, right? We help entrepreneurs do three things: drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow the amount of profit in your business. I'm excited because we have another awesome interview for you today, and it's a very pertinent topic when we talk about what's going on today, what's happening with so many businesses, what's happening with so many homes across the country, and it's just really giving us an opportunity to talk about something that we normally don't, which is cutting expenses. And a lot of you are saying, okay, I know I need to cut expenses. I feel like I need to cut expenses. How can you make sure you don't cut the wrong expenses? How can you cut expenses that actually matter? Because a lot of times you'll look and cut different things and say, well, I feel like I'm in the same space or the same place that I may have been before. And we want to make sure that does not happen to you. Hey, do me a favor. I see we have folks joining. As you're joining, do me a favor, drop a comment down below. Let me know who you are. Let me know where you're from. And if you're a business owner, let me know what your actual business is as well. It's going to be a great conversation today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First, let me tell you who we have today. Brandy Woods-Smith is a charismatic and passionate educator, entrepreneur, speaker, author, and consultant. She is known as a thought leader, change agent, community developer, and to many, she is hailed the millionaire midwife. After serving the public school system for 13 years, y'all, Woods opened the Imagine Me Academy in 2013 and now has multiple locations. In her quest to help other aspiring entrepreneurs achieve success, she founded Powerhouses United. PHU is a business incubator designed to give education, resources, and profit-producing strategies to business owners. The Childcare Millionaires Association is the fastest-growing division of PHU, helping hundreds of childcare owners achieve optimal success. Believe big, expect big, do big. That is the mantra that she lives by. Wood says, although big is not the most eloquent word, it gets the vision across clearly. With belief in my heart, the work of my hands, and the words in my mouth, I will accomplish what I'm commissioned to do: motivate, educate, and produce. Guys, please help me by welcoming, right, in the chat, make some noise, show some love for Miss Brandy Woods-Smith. What's going on, Brandy? How are you today?
I'm excited. It's a great day at Imagine Me Academy and in Houston, Texas, even though we're inside. I am full of joy.
All right, so this is awesome. So, Brandy, like I want to, before we get to, how we cut expenses and your amazing story of not just cutting expenses, but cutting $42,000 worth of expenses in just 6 hours. Before we did the interview, y'all, I asked Brandy, I said, this all took place in one day, right? She said 6 hours. I said, that's even better than a day, 6 hours. Let's have this conversation. But before we get to that, let's talk about how the pandemic, the economy, all these things that are moving around, how have these things impacted your business so far?
Well, as you said, I'm in childcare, so this has had a major impact on us because kids are not in school, so it hit our after-school program hard. Parents are working from home, so it hit our full student count. It hit us hard, and literally it came by surprise. I mean, we were rolling in 2020 like, hey, here we come, and this pandemic literally slowed us down from having close to 200 students a day, to barely between 50 and 60 students. So we knew we had to make some changes quick.
Wow. Okay, so that's solid. I want to go back to that again. You said before you had 200 students, all right, close to, or around ballpark 200 students attending every day.
Every day.
And now how many are you down to right now?
Anywhere between 50 and 60. Our lowest count one day, we were at 44. I kind of got on my knees and started praying. I was like, okay, what are we going to do? Because this is totally different from us. We're always on the waiting list. We're one of the chosen academies in our area, so we were not expecting this at all.
Okay, so let's take a step back. Before we're gonna get to the expense part in a second, y'all, because I want to go through the mind. Brandy is an amazing entrepreneur, so I kind of want to break down some of the things because all of this has just happened. Mostly the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, we went to spring break thinking everything was good. Everybody's going on vacation, hitting the beach. Before we could even go back from spring break, I actually was in Atlanta with you. I began to get calls saying schools are not going back until April 10th. And I'm like, what? And then we got the call, schools are not going back until May 5th. So it was no prior warning. When we went on spring break the week of March 8th, we didn't know. Our revenue was the same. We were cashing checks, making deposits. Then we come back from spring break and everything literally has halted. 65% of our business is now walking through the door the next Monday.
Man, this is so good. I know we talking about expenses, y'all, but I see
so
pieces of leadership. I'm seeing pieces of pivot. I'm seeing pieces of, I want to get into what Brandy communicated with her team and with her staff, with the parents. Also want to she runs a community she mentioned called the Childcare Millionaires Association for individuals that own child cares or want to own child cares, right? So I want to talk about, like, I've seen you dominate as a leader in that space and begin to give them a message that they can have hope, but then as also opportunity, but then also like, this is what you need to be doing right now. So I want to get to all of that. But all right, so this thing happened. It was a quick pivot. We went from, a lot of kids waiting lists to a fraction of that right now. When all of this is happening, what's going through your mind? Because this is something like none of us were really prepared for, this specific thing, and then the way it went down and the fact that it happened so fast.
Well, the first thing that was going through my mind is, how am I going to take care of my staff? Because these people are depending on me every day. They take care of their family by being in my employ. So it wasn't just about I'm the primary caregiver for my parents. I have 25 employees, 200 students, and they got mamas and daddies. And so I'm thinking about what's going to happen, not just to my community, like my family community, but all of the people who are looking to me for answers, guidance, and care for their family. So I was like, what are we going to do? Because closing our doors was not an option. Telling people that I can't pay you is not an option. Telling parents who depend on us every week to take care of their children, to tell them, hey, you're going to have to go to a stranger during one of the most difficult times. For me, at that point, those were not options. So it was just like, what we're going to do? By any means necessary, how are we going to get this done?
So once you took that in, right, you said, we got to do it. What are we going to do by any means necessary? I feel like, because I kind of know something behind the scenes story. That's exactly what began to happen. How did you communicate what the next steps would be to your team, to your staff, to the people, that's in leadership in your organization?
Well, we had a lot of inner circle meetings first. Our first thing to the staff was we wanted them to know they were going to be okay. So we didn't bother them with the idiosyncrasies and things that maybe they couldn't digest at the moment. The first thing we told them, hey, you're going to be okay. We're not reducing hours this week. We'll use this time to clean up, prepare. So they can go out and buy supplies and groceries. So even though we knew our revenue was about to decrease, the first thing we did is we took care of our people so that they would feel safe and secure. And then to our parents, we did videos of us cleaning up, us, talking to them, letting them know, that we had their best interest in heart. The governor at that point in our state had deemed us essential workers, so we knew we could be open. So for them, it was just letting them know we got you. But behind the scenes, man, the conversations and the early mornings and the midnights and the prayer, I think I ordered me some blessed oil. I don't know. We were doing everything we could to make sure we could keep things as solid as possible and still take care of our obligations.
Okay. So you made this pivot, and then one of the things you said is, okay, because we have a reduced number of kids, right? And at some point, this may impact cash flow. I need to reduce expenses. What was it just that simple? Was it something else you thought? And then how did you go about doing it? Because today we're talking about the fact that not only did you reduce expenses, but you reduced $42,000 worth of expenses in 6 hours. And the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you guys is because I think you're going to get a lot of ideas about the things you can do, because it's not just like, all right, I'm not eating out as much. There are a lot of different ways and different buckets and things that you can do to create opportunity and to begin to shift cash flow a little bit. And when Brandy shared with me what she did, I wanted to make sure she shared it with the whole community in order to give you guys ideas. If you want that information, do me a favor, type the word yes down below, so we can make sure that that's something that you're actually interested in. I don't know, Brandy. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes people ain't interested in stuff I'm interested in. I wanted to know those numbers.
Well, they better type yes, because I know you give away things, but I give away things too. So I better see some yeses in the chat. We got to participate. We TSP, y'all.
There we go, right? Y'all better get it. So Brandy, what did you do? Was the pivot just that easy? And then once you said, all right, this is the way I'm kind of going with it, what did you do to slash, right, $42,000 in expenses in just 6 hours?
So So the pivot was the fourth thing that we did. But it was like pivot or perish. Right now, that's where everybody needs to be. If you don't pivot, you're going to perish in this season. Only the strong is going to survive. And so one thing under your leadership, you kept telling us, leaders lead, find a way, find the opportunities. And so we started with a SWOT analysis. That was our first thing that we did. And in this SWOT analysis, we found that our biggest threat was not being able to keep our expenses up. And so we tackled what we thought was our threats. And that was the first threat that we tackled head on.
You're right. What the SWOT analysis are is you break down your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We highly recommend it. It's something we go through a lot of times with our mastermind members, which Brandy is one of our TSP mastermind members. I love it, right? And Alexandra dropped it down in the chat for me. I love what you just said, pivot or perish. Like, let's talk about that for just a second till we get into it. You talked about that mindset of pivot or perish. Can you just go on that just a little bit more, Brandy?
Yeah, so like the SWOT analysis for us, we had some strengths. Like, for example, our parents love us. So parents who could pay, they were just going to pay. Another strength we had is we already take government subsidy, so we knew some of our money was safe. Like, one of our weaknesses is we can't control what people do. Like, we know people were going to try to, cut costs if they didn't go to work. So that was one of our weaknesses, just not, having control. And the weaknesses are prevalent. So I don't want to spend time on the weaknesses because I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. So y'all know the weaknesses. I mean, we can't control what's going on, but our opportunities. Like, we had an opportunity to show up where other people were closing their doors, and they wasn't going to open. So around us, 3 of our major competitors closed. So we can't close. Another opportunity is the governor just kept saying, we're going to help you guys. We don't know. The help still hasn't came. But I guarantee you, I'm on the front lines. I'm on the news. I'm on Facebook. I'm in your email. You're going to remember me when the help comes. Another great opportunity that we had was to let the center owner send us their students, we would send them back. So we really did the opportunities. Now the threats in your business are like things like you having to shut down and you don't have a choice to stay open. That's a huge threat for us. A kid actually getting sick. What can we do to prevent that? That's a big threat for us. Our landlord locking us out because we can't pay our bills or we don't have any lights. Those are threats for us. So we knew we had to reduce our expenses just to be able to be one of the last, companies standing in our community. So we kind of went through that process. Anybody has questions about that, I'm sure Lamar can. And if you drop questions below, I promise to go back and answer them. But it's really simple. Just on a piece of paper, make 4 rectangles and you just plug it in. And from there, you'll get ideas about how you need to react to what's going on.
I love this, Brand. I love this conversation we're having. And this reminds, actually, I've been wanting to do an actual SWOT analysis training in the broader TSP group, and I think this is the perfect time to just do just that. So you go through the SWOT, right? I don't want everybody to make sure you picked up that piece as you went through it, and you have to be able to go through this exercise so that you can take a realistic look at, all right, what are my weaknesses, right? What are the external threats that could impact me if I'm not paying attention? And if you're aware of what these things are, right, that allows you to make that pivot. When it's perish or pivot time, that allows you to make that pivot or perish time. It allows you to make that pivot a lot easier. But then also, I loved how Brandy talked about, she really focused on the opportunities. She focused on the fact that everybody around her was closing, so that gave her the actual opportunity to stay open and make it happen. Did y'all catch that? Let me know if you caught that down to the comments. All right, Brandy, so then you said, all right, we need to do this. We take advantage of the opportunity. This is what we're going to do. You start to lead. You come from a position of strength. How did you, or what were the actual things you did to actually cut down this $42,000?
Okay, so first of all, we had to list all of our expenses. So we're a very expense-heavy business. 50% of our revenue goes to payroll because we're taking care of children. That's our biggest cost of goods sold, per se, for those of you who sell a product. And then our other biggest problem is we have lease payments. We're brick and mortar. So that means we have lease payments, light bills, utilities, things that we have to pay in order to just function. So our first step was listing all of those expenses. Our expenses on a general month is about $60,000. So the amount I save may be more than the amount you save just because my overhead in having a brick and mortar, and I have 2 brick and mortars at that, is high. And then we also looked at our personal expenses. So this $42,000 was a combination of our heaviest expenses, how we could alleviate them and defer them, but without having a balloon payment. Because this is one disclaimer that I want to give. If you try this strategy, you want to make sure that you totally understand the terms that you put together with your creditors and your lenders, and to make sure at the end of that term, you don't have a huge payment that there's no way you can pay, because that's not being responsible either. Make sure you understand the fine print of this arrangement. Do you want me to go on and tell them what I did, or? Okay, so I have my cheat sheet and my notes, and if you guys follow me and you want to actually see this PowerPoint, it's on my personal page. So
hey, Brandy, tell them what personal page you're talking about. Just your personal Facebook page or your website?
I'm normally the first person that shows up. And then I also have a business page, Childcare Millionaires Association. You can hit me up on either one of those pages, and all the good stuff will be there. That's Childcare Millionaires Association. So listen, ain't nobody got time for closing. And ain't nobody got time for their money to be short. And so the first thing we did is we looked at the fact that most people don't have money saved. 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. We're in a better position than that, but when your actual expenses is $60,000 a month, that little change you have in the bank is not going to last very long. Let me say that. So we looked at the bills that we had that would suffocate us if we couldn't keep our revenue at our normal $90,000 to $100,000 per month. So the first thing we did after we analyzed our expenses, we called our landlords, our leaseholders. And we were like, listen, I know that you know what's going on because you're a business owner too. How can you work with us? We were in good standings for March. We were like, how can you work with us in April in order for us to reduce our costs? And we had some ideas of what we wanted them to do. And so one of my landlords said, so what are you asking for? You asking for something free? I said, if you're willing to give me something free, absolutely. I said, but these are the 2 things I was thinking. So one of my landlords allowed me to just not pay April. He said, you've been in good standing with us for 7 years. We love you. We don't want you to pay anything, and you don't owe us anything in return. Now, my other landlord, Kareem Ashakabaha, that's what I call him. Just, he wasn't having that. He was like, listen, what can you do? And I was like, in April, I can't do anything if you want me to keep this lease. I said, but this is what I'm willing to do. Can you give me April off, and then for the next few months, let me pay a little extra? He said, well, I'll do better than that. I'll give you April off, and then you only have to pay me the half, and you can pay me an extra $300 over the next 6 months. I was like, okay, you have no problem with me. So right off the bat, that saved us right at $7,000. So $7,000 of our expenses, poof, was gone.
Okay.
Gone. Bye-bye.
So hey, Brandy, so can we talk about something real quick? So I love it. So you're talking about what those, right? The for your 2 facilities. I liked how you talk about how you went to both of them, because that showed me 2 things. Number one is that you have to handle your business during the good times, so that when tough times come, they'll give you some grace. Like the person that is chasing you for your money every month ain't giving you grace when you get to this situation if you ain't been handling your business every other month, because they like, oh, I'm already chasing you every single month when the place is full. I know I'm not getting that money, so they're not giving you grace. So I love that. And then the second thing I got from it was that you have to step up and you can't hide. I think a lot of people, when tough times come, they start ducking and diving, right? And then they just don't pay. And then the person is calling them like, hey, where the rent at? Where the lease money at? We trying to find you, can't find you. but you were proactive and stepped to them first and said, hey, you know what, can we work through something? And not only did you say, can we work through something, you came with actual options and possibilities to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What if, can we not have to pay you for April, but instead we do these other things? I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that was our first strategy because as long as we can get in the building, we were good. We did not try to negotiate with our light company or utilities because those things will balloon and give you 30 more days or 15 more days. And we don't want to experience this huge payment at the end. So we only talk to people that we could truly defer. The next person, we have a business loan. For those of you, my mastermind TSP fam and the other TSP fam that knows me well, y'all know your girl hates loans. I'm that cash and carry kind of girl. I'll be wanting to put my money in the handkerchief in the back of my pocket kind of girl. But I know I can't leverage my business without having loans. So we have a business loan. With my business loan, they contacted me and said, hey, do you need help? I was like, yeah, I need help. So I responded to them. And they told me we can defer your loan for 30 days, which saved us $9,000. Like, we have a massive loan because we're growing, but that saved us $9,000. And again, it's a deferment. We'll just pay some extra payments on the end, no balloon payment. Y'all with me? If you with me, I see y'all.
I love that. No balloon payments.
So the other thing that we... Okay.
That was a big piece of what Brandy's saying here, and I want to make sure y'all are getting it, right? No balloon payment. Because that's something, Brandy, I was having a conversation the other day with somebody, and we were talking about, all the people saying, people won't have to pay rent. They won't have to pay the mortgage. But a lot of these companies are saying, you got to read the fine print, like you said, right? A lot of these companies saying, yeah, you will have to pay it. We're just going to give you 3 months, and at the end of 3 months, what you basically going to have to pay is 3 months worth of rent or 3 months worth of mortgage all at once. So I love how you keep kind of emphasizing y'all that she's doing all of this, or she's done everything she's talked about so far with no balloon payment. It's just people, there's some forbearances, people allowing her to say, hey, you know what, we can just make up the payments with extra, that you do on top of what you're already going to pay later down the line, but no balloon payments. I'm sorry, Brandy, you can keep going. All right, guys. I'm not
and
sure
that's very important. You just got to know.
There we go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandy.
I got you. You slowed down a minute, but you came back. We definitely don't want to put people in a bad position, and that's why I felt like I have to be responsible and tell you, make sure you listen, because some people are just. And when my personal experience that we saved it, I'm going to show you in some cases I had to call back and make sure I had a good understanding. The other thing we did was really easy, and that was reduce payroll. But we tried to do it in a way that wasn't slimy and it didn't hurt anyone. We asked people, hey, we have less kids right now. Do you want to take your vacation? So some people were like, yeah, my husband's home, my family's home. I would love to take my vacation. Some people said, I'd rather not work right now. So we didn't lay them off or furlough them. We just kind of let them decide for themselves. But everyone who wanted to work, we're giving them a minimum of 30 to 40 hours. So no one is hurting. We let them know, hey, if you choose to apply for unemployment and things like that, that's totally your right if the government is going to help you. But our goal is to keep you employed. But we were able to reduce an estimated $4,000 per payroll over the next 4 payrolls. So, and for us, that's not even 20% of our payroll, but it's still $16,000 saved.
All right, y'all. Hopefully you're getting all of this. This is amazing information. Hey, if y'all are enjoying it so far, do me a favor. Drop a comment down below. If you're just joining, my name is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit, helping entrepreneurs drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow the amount of profit in your business. We're joined today with Brandy Woods-Smith, the owner, right, of Imagine Me Academy, and also the lead of the Childcare Millionaires Association and Powerhouses United. She's breaking down how she was able to cut through $42,000 of expenses in just 6 hours, right? 6 hours of being focused and being able to kind of jump into this. Hey, can we take a few questions real quick, Brandy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Roz wanted to know, was that non-paid vacation?
If they had vacation hours, it was paid vacation. If they didn't have any more vacation hours, it was unpaid vacation. So it just depended on the circumstance.
All right, I love it. Hey, here's a great comment. Alexandra said these tips that you're giving are actually great for.
So it kind of depends on if
I'm
they
sorry.
had vacation hours that they knew they could use them.
All right, there we go. Hey, Alexandra said these are also great tips for your personal finances as well, right? A lot of this kind of goes for your personal finances as well. Let me see. Shout out to my old friend Natasha. Shout out to Natasha from the YBF.com. She said, random note, your makeup is the bomb. Random note.
Thank you.
Y'all don't know. Somebody said the other day in the TSP Mastermind, we have like some Zooms and get-togethers and work sessions and all that kind of stuff. And somebody said, I don't even know if they said to you, they was like, it's like, it could be 6 a.m., it could be 2 a.m. They was like, Brandy gonna be made up like what? Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. All right, we're coming through. All right, Brandy. So what else did you do? What next did you do to help cut down these expenses?
So that was like 32,000 in just business expenses, and then we moved to our home expenses. And of course, we probably save more because we're not buying as many supplies. We're not, using as many utilities. But those are variable things. I really wanted to make sure I gave concrete things. When it came to our personal expenses, we attacked 3 areas: our mortgage, and this guy, a homeowner, can really help you. If you're a homeowner right now, you're going to have a little bit more protection of being a rent in our home as an entrepreneur. Just get it done. I did it myself 2 years ago, and the process was a little bit harder, but I'm so glad I did it because it gave me the leverage I needed. We were able to defer our mortgage payment for 3 months. Now, let me give you the skinny on the mortgage payment. I called back because I kept hearing on the news, like, if you defer, you're still going to owe this balloon payment at the end. So I called them back, got clarification, and they said, yes, our goal is at the end of these 3 months that you pay us in full. And I said, well, what if I can't? Then you do a loan modification. And so I want you to know that there is some hope and there are some options. Our goal is to pay it over the 3 months, but if we can't, we do understand that we can request a loan modification. And in these given times, I can't see why that wouldn't happen, but you need to be fully aware that may be the circumstance. Now, I don't know how it's going to be, so I'm going to take my grace, and I'm going to have a plan for paying them at the end of the 3 months, or know that I need to put myself in a position where I can apply for the loan modification.
Okay.
The other thing that we go ahead.
I'm
Tyler.
sorry, Brandon. No, I thought that's good because there's something we've been telling people is you need to take advantage of this stuff now because by the time you need it, it may actually be too late. So by the time you need it, if you need somebody to say, hey, you know what, we'll give you a pass on the rent or the mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 months from now, if they've already given that to everybody else now, right, 2-3 months prior, and then now they're in a bad financial situation, they might say, nah, you know what, I actually need my money to make sure I can keep doing what I need to do on my end. So I think that's important too.
Yeah, and it's important also to get it in writing. My thing was making these adjustments gave us flexibility, and we can decide what's most pressing. But I would say make sure you get everything in writing as well. With my car note, it was a different thing. They actually gave a true deferment. They just put the 2 car notes on the end, and I don't have to come up with a balloon payment. The only thing that they did tell us is that the first payment you pay will probably be all interest because, they're going to want their interest first, and then you will go into principal. They also told us our first payment, we can make it a little bit more. They gave us the estimated interest that we would accrue because we would not be paying in all of April, all of May. And we also hadn't paid since March 1st. So that's like 90 days of interest. So we only did that for 2 months, but it's not a balloon payment. It's a true deferment.
Okay. I love it, Brandon.
And then the last thing we did to get to our 42,000 is with cancellation. And basically that means we were using a method called the roll-up method, where you pay off one bill and you use all of that money to pay off another bill. Then you pay off that. So at this point, we were paying an extra like $2,500 in debt cancellation. Y'all, I told y'all I don't like to owe nobody. And so what we did, we made a decision for the next 2 months that we would only make the minimum payments on all of our debts, which comes to like $900 instead of like $3,600. So we're going to be saving about $2,500 for the next 2 months of us just paying the minimum payment. So that's kind of money we put back in our budget just in case we have to take less salary or something happens. But if you add all of that up, it's really $45,000. But that's how we decided, how we saved $42,000 in 6 hours.
All right, guys. Hopefully, did you guys enjoy that as much as I did? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you got some nuggets, right? There was so much between, like I said, getting people to just waive payments, between getting people to actually defer those payments, between making sure that, hey, you know, what can we actually work out? Because I don't want an actual balloon payment at the end of this thing and be in a worse situation than I'm possibly being now. We talked about the fact that you need to take advantage of these different things now. Because like I said, like a few months down the line, by the time you need it, it may be too late. Just like the same thing we talked about on our interview the other day with Deanna Grant. We talked about these SBA opportunities. You can say, well, you know what, I think I'm good for now. But by the time you actually go to get some of the SBA money, all the money actually is dried up and there's no more for you. Like, we have to take advantage, y'all, and jump on these things now. And a lot of these things are things historically in our community we haven't taken advantage of. We've set back, been lax, while everybody else has jumped on it. We got to make sure that we do as well. I love, Brandy, how she talked about, you know, starting with that SWOT analysis, you know, being able to really get clear about what the opportunities were and then charging hard after those. That was amazing. I see we getting hand claps down in the chat. Amazing. Thanks for sharing, encouraging others to be creative. Dr. Ranella was very proactive. They are going, Brandy. And Brandy, I think you got something in your hand that you wanted to share with folks too.
I did. So the last time I was on TSP, I had some gifts, and I'm a benevolent person. We just got another shipment of our books, and I think we have 30 copies that we're giving away 100% free. All you have to do is pay for the shipping and handling. Not only, y'all can tell I'm at the school now, the phone wants to ring. Not only does it give the tips of how, you know, I went from being flat broke with $12 to my name and homeless to running a 7-figure business, but it also gives my productivity tips, my profit producing tips. It's absolutely free. I'll drop a link below. All you have to do is handling. It's just my gift to say thank you for being in this community. This community has given me so much. I have grown so much from this community. So I just want to part and give back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandy. And Brandy, you know, as you were just saying that, how long, like, I feel like you've only been in TSP maybe like, was it like around a year around now? Because I remember it was pre-TSP Live last year, right?
So you just remember me when I asked that question, like, is coming to TSP Live worth it?
That's when you rose to my attention,
moment.
Brandy.
Yeah, that's when I rose up in the group, right? But I had been in the group for years before that, but
okay.
That's when you was like, who is this light-skinned gangster asking, is TSP Live worth it? So that's just when I hit your radar. Okay. But I've been in the group for a while. Even when you guys were just blogging and doing, you know, Black and Married Kids and blogging while brown, you've been on my radar for a while.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. I think, like I said, I noticed. That's when I noticed you that day, right? I remember it was March 22nd, 2:42 p.m. No, I was kidding. But all right, I remember that. All right, thank you. Let me see. We dropped that down. People are going crazy down in the comments. Brandy, anything else? And if you got any questions, make sure you drop them in. Brandy, anything else you want to share with the audience? Anything else, you know, advice you want to give them before we kind of wrap up everything?
The only advice is really mirroring the advice that you gave us, guys. Whatever industry you're in, just make sure you're showing up. There's really a big opportunity for us to right now rise above those who are sitting down. In this moment, a lot of people are going to sit down. They're going to get paralyzed. They're going to be afraid. Yes, put that thought to the side and just press on and move on anyway. Don't stop. Remember, things in motion stay in motion. Stay in motion, even if you're moving slow right now. Don't stop, because if you stop, it's going to be so hard to start again. But if you keep going, not only will you be recognized in your industry, you'll be proud of your own self, and that will build confidence. So please, guys, just keep going. Stay connected. If you have questions, drop them in the group. We will answer your questions.
All right, y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, Brandy, can you tell them how they can connect with you one more time?
Yes, on Instagram, I'm Brandy.Woods1908 for all my sorors out there. And on Facebook, I'm Brandy Woods, and my group is called Childcare Millionaires Associated. The business owner can find some worth in our group as well. So please continue to connect.
Hey, and what I would tell everybody, right, if especially if you have a child care, you're trying to get into that business or you're in that business, you need to be in this group. If you know somebody, I know all of us know someone that has some range, right, whether they have a brick and mortar or they're somewhere, or maybe, somebody nana in the basement, right, but they're trying to get out the basement. No matter what it may be, what I'm going to tell you is that, like, the support, opportunities, and resources that Brandy has in this group are phenomenal, right? I'm a member of the group. I get to kind of see what's going on inside, right? And like I said, she really leads from the front and there. She gives so much value to help them grow their businesses. And I think this a specific sector, right, or niche, has amazing growth potential specifically for our community. But I think a lot of times the people who have the 7 to 8 to 9 figure organizations, right, don't look like us. But guess what? All of us have kids that we have to take to these places. So, I applaud you, Brandy, for, stepping up and being a leader in this space, and for not just doing your thing, because you're highly successful, just with what you do and with Imagine Me Academy, but for also showing others the actual path and bringing them along the way. So thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So, guys, again, right, we are thankful that you took your time to actually spend with us today. Again, my name is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit. Today, we talk with Miss Brandy Woods-Smith. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow her, join her on Facebook, and join her Facebook group. And we just want to make sure that you're doing everything in this time that you need to be doing to prepare, to guard, to protect yourself, to help your cash flow, and do everything as you kind of move along. I think today was a great conversation. Me, myself, just today I was looking at, all right, like what are the softwares and tools that we have, but we don't actually use? What can I actually cut back? But then also at the same time, making sure, hey, Brandy, actually, before you go, can I ask you one more thing? One of the things I wanted to talk about and ask you about, Brandy, and I almost forgot before we got out of here, so hopefully everybody's still paying attention. When I was looking at my stuff, one of the things was kind of deciding, what you cut back and what you don't. And I know for me, right, I was looking at, different expenses. Like I said, it's like software packages that we pay for every month that we don't even use. But one of the things that I wasn't willing to actually cut back on was my personal development. One of the things I wasn't willing to cut back on was the tools that will make me more money, right? And now some of them are stuff that, like, I don't use, but I said, you know what? Like, either I need to get rid of it or I need to dive all the way and use it, because 3 months from now, if I use this the way that it's supposed to use and actually use it with everything I have access to in this actual program, this is one of the things that'll help me get through this time. So as you look more at, your outline operating expenses, and if there are things like that, how do you kind of decide, what do you actually get a hold of? What do you throw away? That type of thing.
Absolutely. So we cut back down on like internal supplies, but we ramped up on marketing and graphics, because no child care center right now is marketing. We right now are creating an online learning platform where we asked our 500 members to teach one lesson. If they taught one lesson, we're giving their whole school and their parents access to this platform. Do you understand that if each of them have 100 students, that's 50,000 students? Now I will have their contact information. Online learning platforms, and we're ramping down on like internal things that we really don't need right now. So we're looking in the long game. So I'm suspecting Imagine Me Academy will have an online learning academy. It's probably going to have a preschool box. Well, let me stop talking because y'all be copywriting fast in this group. Raven, don't let them get my stuff now. But so we're pivoting. I mean, so those are the things we're spending money on. We're spending less money on field trips and vehicles and transportation. We just don't need those things right now.
I love it, y'all. So I think that's a great example. People always say, well, my business is different. You know, my business is, and my niche and industry is vastly different from Brandy's, but it's actually the exact same thing, exact same mindset. What we're doing is ramping up in marketing. What we're doing is putting more money in advertising. What we're doing is, actually went out and had to buy a few new software packages and new tools based on things that we're doing now that we weren't doing before, because when we need to, A, first get through this thing, B, we want to make sure we thrive as much as not just being able to survive. And then C, when we come out of it, we want to come out of it as a leader in this space. And you can't do that when you contract. You know, you want to cut down expenses, you want to do things, but you can't contract so much that you ball up in a corner and are afraid to fight for yourself, for your business, and for your family. So, oh my goodness, I love it.
And I have to say this one last thing, guys. You know, you're your biggest investment. So when you're talking about not personally investing anymore, that's that parish part. The pivot right now is investing in you. Now, you may have to get on Canva and learn how to do some of your own graphics. You may have to get in the software and learn. You may have to YouTube it. But right now, you are your main investment. And when it comes, you notice I didn't downplay any of my investments. I'm still buying books. I'm still, participating in courses. I'm still participating in my mastermind. I'm showing up now more than ever because I know that I am the only thing in my business that's going to carry me over the finish line. So please invest in yourself. And congratulations to all of you who grabbed the book. That's an investment in yourself.
I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. There we go. All right. Thanks again, Brandy. We appreciate you being here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Again, my name is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic Sales and Profit. We're joined by Brandy Woods-Smith today. If you did not catch the whole thing, make sure you go back to the beginning and actually watch it from the beginning. A very insightful conversation from the very first minute to the very last. And I want to tell you, make sure you are locked in with the Traffic Sales and Profit group on Facebook, Traffic Sales and Profit with Lamar Tyler. If you're not viewing this inside of Facebook, I want you in the group to make sure you can take advantage of all the free resources, trainings, and interviews that we're giving you on a consistent basis. And then make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well, youtube.com/traffic sales and Andy Profit. All right, y'all, have a great day, and thank you for watching and hanging out with us again here in Traffic Sales and Profit Land. Peace.